Music is one of the most powerful art forms in the world. It can take any emotion inside of you and just have you show it instantaneously, with the only requirement being some instruments and some well-written music. I'm not really too big of a musician myself. I can't sing, I can't compose music, I can play a trumpet. Haven't touched that thing in like 3 years though. But if there is one type of music I will listen to, it's simply video game music. It's just like regular music except in video games. What more do you need to say? So with that, I present to you my top 10 songs in all of video games. The only thing that really needs to be said for this list is it's a personal list of mine. It's based off of my opinion alone. So there was no outside help with the making of the script for this list. So if you do not happen to agree with one of my choices, that's completely okay. So without further ado, on with the top 10. I'm going to start off this list with a fairly simplistic choice. Cat, from Minecraft. I'll admit that although once I extremely loved Minecraft, I think it's safe to say the more it was getting picked up by the mainstream, the more I started to veer away from it. But I will still play an occasional game every once in a while, and when I do, I'll just have to take in the wonderful atmosphere strengthened by the composer C418. Every tune fits the game with the hopeful and an isolated and lonely world atmosphere, which very much suits the game. The unfortunate thing about Cat is that it doesn't fit into this category, but it doesn't really matter because it's such a good song. Rather than being mostly piano and other orchestrated music, this song in particular goes for the more 8-bit route, and that's awesome because I love chiptune. So although Minecraft will never be as special to me again, Cat has assured itself one reason why I will still come back. No, don't worry fellow viewer, I am not kidding. Who would have ever thought that an online shopping service would have good music to go along with it? I mean, could you imagine Steam having music? Well, apparently Nintendo thought it was a good idea, so they made the Wii U eShop theme. When I first got my Wii U around the launch window, there really wasn't a whole lot to do. Because of this, I went to the eShop to see what I could find, and as it turns out, I did find something. And that was the music. If you ever tried asking me why I like this song as much as I do, I don't think I can really tell you why. It's a happy song, and I love it. It's only unfortunate that Nintendo switched this song out within the browser multiple times with melodies that just weren't nearly as good. But I think that only is going to make the bond with the oldest eShop song even stronger with me. Ah, Goldenrod. The most yellowish color city of them all. Except I first got there when it was night and it was all purple, you liar! Goldenrod City, in my opinion, houses the best song in Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal. I don't really know why either, it's just such a great song, but other than that, I can't explain it. Maybe it's like I said before, it's because I first got there when it was night, and it was a perfect song to walk along to during the moonlit hours. And even though the song was remade with Heart Gold and Soul Silver, it just didn't feel right. It was a little too happy. The Game Boy version was also happy, but it was also a little melancholy with it. It just got it right, and honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. First impressions are really important for anything. I don't think I need to explain why. With games, it's the same concept. If you don't get going within the first few hours, or in some cases minutes, it will be very difficult for you to get invested in until much later on. Sonic Team understood this back in 2001, and along came City Escape. The first level to the hero story in Sonic Adventure 2 is one of the best opening levels not only in Sonic's history, but also in gaming history in general, and pretty much half of that is because of the awesome music, which is saying a lot considering that this stage has a lot of cool moments. This song by Crush 40 is upbeat, fast-paced, and over the top, which perfectly sets the tone for what is considered to be the best 3D Sonic game. It's no wonder why City Escape has been rolling around at the speed of sound with fans' hearts for over a decade. Any classic gamer can tell you that the Mega Man games have some of the most superb music any mere sound chip can produce. But the decision is difficult. In fact, it's almost too difficult when choosing your favorite track from the entire franchise as a whole. However, after a long decision, I think that my favorite songs come from the X series, and more specifically, the first one. And once you narrow it down to that, it's very easy to say which songs are best, because everyone knows that the intro stage holds the greatest of the great. Wait, no. Launch Octopus had the most rock and roll vibe to it, which... Hold it! Boomer Quanger's vertical stage design also put a much more stunning twist on the music. Wait! How could I forget Spork Mandrill? I mean, his was the most badass theme in the whole game. Well, I liked Flame Mammoth. My god, I'm such an idiot! Storm Eagle! There's no way he couldn't... Oh no. Not the end credit song. Oh no. Which one am I gonna choose? Which one am I gonna choose? You know what? They all make it, okay? Every one of them makes the list. The entire soundtrack is on here. Decision's too difficult. I quit. I love the Mario RPG games. Enough where I might just do a video on it. But one iconic song to come from Super Mario RPG for the Super Nintendo is the Rosewood's Forest Maze theme. Whatever makes this song so great, I'm not sure. Maybe it's just because you might be spending quite a bit of time there because, well, it is a maze. So perhaps the song was made just so you could keep your sanity for a little while longer. And considering the fact that I'm not insane, I'd say it worked. Considering how long this song has lasted with us now, I'm sure that it's going to last with us even longer in the future. So as it turns out, I like Rare. The music from their games are just phenomenal. Even though I knew my favorite songs came from BanjoKazooie, that didn't make the decision any easier. I mean, who could forget tracks like Mumbo's Mountain, Freezeezy Peak, Rusty Bucket Bay, and the final fight that takes a whole frickin' hour to loop! But when it was all said and done, I concluded my search with the Treasure Trove Cove. Because there was something about that hermit crab. There was something about that pirate ship. There was something about that sandcastle at the bottom of the lake. There was something about that— oh Jesus, it's a shark! The level sounds like a perfect fit for a beach level, and it gives you that feeling of a perfect summer day on the coast. Would you believe me if I said I wasn't at all impressed by the opening of Final Fantasy VI? You don't? Funny. I don't blame you. I wanted to see what was going on with the 6th installment of the series, but when I started playing through it, I was unfazed. It did look technically impressive, but it didn't feel mechanically impressive. I wanted to go beat up dudes and level up, not just walk down a linear path with no benefits of exploring. But I knew at that point it was way too early to criticize the game. I knew I just had to give the game a fair and proper chance. And oh boy, was that chance well deserved. Locke's theme is the pinnacle of adventure. When I first got introduced to this song, it was just so epic. I knew from that moment on it would be one of the best songs I would ever hear in a video game. And this is coming from a game with one of the best musical scores ever. Final Fantasy VI is now currently my favorite game from the franchise, and Locke is my favorite character from it. And that's mainly due to his amazing theme song. When I think of nostalgia games from my childhood, I think of the Ocarina of Time. I played through this game so many times as a kid, and every time I play it again, I happen to love it a little more. My favorite song from the game is one I never really appreciated until much later in my life, and it's the first one that many of us heard from the game. The title song for the Ocarina of Time is a well-composed and very relaxing piece. It may not revolve around a central theme like Majora's Mask or Wind Waker, but Ocarina captures a certain feeling, a motivation for adventure. This game will take you on a journey through the open grasslands of Hyrule Field, the active volcanoes of the Fire Temple, and the psychological torment that lies within the Shadow Temple. Every time you embark on your journey, whether it was a road less traveled or a path as well known as the back of your hand, this song will always reintroduce you to your quest as if it's an all-new experience. This is what I believe to be the greatest video game song I have ever heard. It's going to be understandable if you don't agree with my choice, but regardless, my favorite song in any video game is... Oh yeah, it's Scott Pilgrim. This is another instance where every song in the game is so amazing, I could pull another Mega Man X for this list and call it a day. However, unlike X, I know what the greatest song in this collection is, and that's the song you're listening to right now, simply titled Leave the Past Behind. By itself, it's already a great level theme, but it really does make you just want to do that, leave the past behind. I never went through a really tough time in my life, but this song was able to help me get past one of those rocky roads. And that's kind of what Scott went through in the story. You just defeated 6 evil ex-boyfriends, and in the end, it was all for nothing. As hard as you tried, the result was failure. Yet you still fight on. Because even though you're feeling stress unlike any other, you still have goals that need to be accomplished. You still have a future to look forward to. Just leave the past behind.